Hey everyone, today we're going to level up your English. We're moving past those simple, basic sentences and diving into something really powerful, a tool that lets you express complex ideas like a pro. I'm talking about the noun clause. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be building some seriously sophisticated sentences. So, let's start with a problem you've probably run into. You know how to say a simple fact, like, he is right. Easy. And you know how to say, I know something. Also easy. But how do you stick them together? How do you smoothly say, I know that he is right? That little connection, that's the magic trick we're going to master today. Here's the game plan. First, we'll see how we build bigger sentences in the first place. Then we'll get right into it. What is a noun clause? After that, we'll check out the 4 main jobs it can do. And then, for a little advanced move, we'll see how to make them out of questions. Finally, we'll wrap it all up. Sound good? Let's do it. Okay, first things first. When we want to combine simple sentences, there are really 2 main paths you can take in English. Okay, so check this out. On one side, you've got your compound sentence. Think of this like 2 equal partners. You have 2 complete ideas, girls like dolls and boys like robots, and you just link them up with a word like but. Both sides can stand on their own. But on the other side, you have the complex sentence. This is different. This is more like a boss and an assistant. You have a main idea, I know, and then a helper idea, that I am right. See? That helper part can't really exist by itself. It needs the main clause to make sense. Now, these helper clauses come in 3 main flavors. You've got your adjective clauses, which describe things, and adverbial clauses, which describe actions. But today, we're zeroing in on the most useful, most versatile one of them all, the noun clause. And yeah, you guessed it, its job is to act just like a plain old noun. So let's get down to it. What in the world is a noun clause? The best way to think about it is like a super simple recipe. So here's the official definition. It's basically a mini sentence. It has its own subject and a verb that we package up to act like a single noun. And the magic word that usually kicks the whole thing off? The word that. And this shows the recipe perfectly. Step 1, you grab a complete sentence. I am right. Step 2, you put this special connector, that, right at the beginning. Now it's a neat little package, that I am right. And for step 3, you just plug that entire package into another sentence, right where a noun like it or something would go. So I know something becomes I know that I am right. Boom. Simple as that. All right, so now that we know how to make one, let's look at what it can actually do. And this thing is a workhorse. It can do 4 completely different jobs in a sentence. These are its 4 main gigs. It can be the subject, the star of the show. It can be the object, the one receiving the action. It can be a complement, which basically renames the subject, or it can be in a positive, which just adds a bit more info about a noun right next to it. Let's look at each one. First up, let's see it as the subject. So imagine we're thinking 2 things. Something is strange, and he didn't show up on time. Okay, but what's the something that's strange? We need to be more specific. Well, we just take our second sentence, turn it into that noun clause package, and drop it right into the something spot. And there you have it. That he didn't show up on time, that whole chunk is now the subject of the sentence. It's acting like one single thing. But here's a little pro tip for you. While that sentence is perfectly correct, it can sound a little clunky, right? A little heavy at the front. English has a really cool trick for making this sound way more natural. We just pop in a placeholder, the word it, at the beginning. This lets us get the main point out right away. It is strange. And then we can just move that big, long noun clause to the end of the sentence. The meaning is exactly the same, but it just flows so much better. Okay, on to role number 2, the object. Now, this is probably the one you're going to see and use the most. We start with the defendant said something, and he didn't do it. To combine them, we just replace the word something with our noun clause, and we get the defendant said that he didn't do it. The clause is now getting the action from the verb said. And here's another awesome tip. When the noun clause is the object, you can very often just drop the word that. It's totally optional. The defendant said he didn't do it. It sounds way more natural and conversational, and you'll hear people do this all the time. Let's breeze through the last 2 roles. A complement basically renames the subject. Think of it like a math equation. The important thing equals that we're all right. They're the same thing. And a positive is pretty similar, but it just renames a noun that it's sitting next to. So the story is the same thing as that he once killed a man. It's just adding extra info. Okay, but what about questions? Not all noun clauses start with that. The other big category actually comes from turning a question into a part of a larger sentence. Now listen up, because this is the number one rule people forget. When you turn a question into a noun clause, you have to change the word order back to a normal statement. So, who are you becomes who you are. When will the bomb go off becomes when the bomb will go off. You're not asking the question anymore, you're just talking about it. This is super important. And for yes or no questions, we use whether or if. But be careful, they're not always interchangeable. This little chart here is your best friend. The big rules, you have to use whether if it's at the very start of a sentence or if it's right after a preposition. You just can't use if in those spots. For most other cases, when it's an object, you can usually use either one. Phew. All right, that was a lot, I know. So let's bring it all home and pack up your brand new noun clause toolkit. When it all boils down, you only have to remember two main types. You've got your statement clauses. Those are the ones that start with that and talk about a fact or an idea. And you've got your question clauses, the ones that start with a question word and talk about something that's unknown or uncertain. That's it. And don't forget how incredibly useful this tool is. It's not a one-trick pony. It can do 4 distinct jobs in your sentences: subject, object, complement, and a positive. It really is like a Swiss Army knife for grammar. So there you have it. You're now officially equipped to build richer, smarter, more interesting sentences. You can talk about facts, you can report on questions, you can connect ideas like never before. So the only question is, what's the next big idea you're going to express? Thanks for joining me.